Hey y'all, Matt Johnson here again with Cyrus Reed. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so I apologize for uh, the silence. Although we have been active on email, social media, etc. The session is really at a critical point now. There are deadlines approaching, like getting House bills out of committee. That deadline is May 6th.
Correct.
And then there are a number of different deadlines that are right after that. So if good bills haven't been heard at this point, it's really sink or swim time. So we want to talk about a really special bill, a couple of bills that have hearings next week, starting with SB 1446.
By Nathan Johnson out of Dallas. We give a lot of credit to the senator for stepping up on this bill. We've worked with him a lot. This bill would require performance standards for all those large storage tanks that contain dangerous chemicals and petroleum products, a bunch of which, about 15 in all, collapsed during Hurricane Harvey. The good news is we have this bill has a hearing on Monday in the Senate Water and Rural Affairs Committee. And the even better news is Senator Johnson has a committee substitute that will not only deal with the hurricanes and floods, but with the man-made disasters like the ITC disaster, so that these storage tanks will require performance standards to deal with things like fires as well. And so we're real excited about the bill. Senator Carol Alvarado has now agreed to be a co-sponsor of the bill, which is important. She's from Houston. So now we got Dallas and Houston supporting our communities for better performance standards, but these folks on the committee need to hear from you.
Yes. And we have an action alert on our website dealing with this. Just go to our website, sierraclub.org/Texas. The full link is up there. It's time to put pressure on your senator, even if they're not on that committee, although we do need special attention on the committee members that you see behind us to get the ball rolling on this bill. The other bill is HB 4080.
Right, so our cities have the ability to adopt modern building codes, enforce and inspect buildings to make sure they're meeting energy efficiency standards, water conservation standards, basic structural. Our counties don't have that ability. HB 4080 by Dominguez out of the Valley would allow counties to do the same thing cities can do. That's important for our future climate extremes, these kind of disasters, to make sure our buildings are built correctly, and we're saving people money on their water and energy bills. Nice. So good bill, getting a hearing on Tuesday morning, finally.
Nice. We talked a little bit in the last few days on social media and via email about the calendars committee and that the importance of that committee, especially as these deadlines approach. There are two very bad bills that have passed their initial committees and are on this committee that basically is in charge of setting the House floor agenda. And Cyrus, talk a little bit about HB 3557.
3557 is a bill that oil and gas industry and other industries are very much supporting. But what it does is criminalize protests. It says if you so much as impede or interfere with one of these businesses that's termed critical infrastructure, like a pipeline or even a future pipeline, you could get a second-degree felony, which, what's that equivalent to?
Attempted murder.
It's like attempted murder, 20 years in jail. There's also a vicarious liability claim, so that if you're a Sierra Club member and do this, we could get stuck with $1 million fine just for protesting a pipeline. Ridiculous. Fortunately, we've got it in calendars stuck there, and we got to keep it stuck there. We don't want this bill to see the light of day. So keep those calls to calendar committee members coming.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit of an in-the-weeds bill is HB 3114 by Representative Casal.
Yeah, that's a really bad bill too. You know, right now we've got a special right in Texas, which is if you don't like an environmental permit, you can protest it and get an independent hearing at the State Office of Administrative Hearings with an impartial judge. Under this bill, that would go away. It would all happen at the TCEQ. So Texas Commission on Environmental Quality would be the judge, jury, and executioner for those permits. That's a bad idea. We need to keep those independent hearings for people who have concerns about environmental permits.
And that one is also in calendars committee. We want to keep it tied up and not on the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about HB 2771.
Yeah, partially bad news.
Okay.
HB 2771 is the bill that would tell TCEQ they've got to get authority from the EPA to do wastewater discharge permit for oil and gas frackers. You know, imagine all that produced water going back into our rivers, streams, and reservoirs. with some standards, but TCQ, I don't trust them. So that bill did pass the House recently. We only got about 47 no votes. A bunch of Democrats actually voted for the bill.
22,
Surprise.
I think.
Watch their votes. It's going over to the Senate. The Senate has their own version of the bill, SB 1585. So we're a little unclear which of those bills might go to the Senate floor, but one of them will probably by the end of next week. And so we need to keep calls on senators that, hey, study this. Let's look at whether it makes sense, but don't delegate it to TCQ right now when we don't know what the standards will be.
Yeah, and we don't even know what chemicals frackers use to put in the water that they
Trade secrets.
Trade secrets,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to be floating in that.
Yeah.
Next time I'm tubing, if ever. So there's a lot going on. Thank you for watching this. Keep apprised. If you haven't already done so, please sign up for our legislative alerts. You can sign up on our website. Till then, Cyrus,
Yep.
let's go do it.
Let's do it.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.